speaking is still really and truly the number one skill. When creating my program is I want there to be as much speaking practice in my program as possible. In order for you to learn how to speak a language, you need to speak a language. You can't just be listening to it. You can't just be thinking, oh, hypothetically, this is how I would say this. You need to actually say it, okay? As far as our at-home learning material that we have, it's challenging, right? Because if nowadays so many things are offered, online, and even the materials that we have are offered for the moment in hard copy, we may create an online version. But here's the thing, it doesn't sit well with me to create a program that's going to help you speak a language if there's no speaking component. So how do we solve that? Well, you guys might think, oh, well, you could have a microphone and then the student could be, speaking into the microphone. Well, guess what, guys? That's actually not considered speaking practice. That's called parroting, is what that's called. If you're listening and repeating into a microphone, or even if you have some kind of prompt and you're expected to respond, that doesn't create fluency. And it also does not mimic reality, because in reality, we're not usually taking turns. It's not like one person speaks, the other person speaks. Some interrupting happens, there's nonverbal cues that are happening. So really and truly, in order for you to practice speaking as a crucial skill, you need to actually speak, and it needs to be with another live human being. So how can we do that in this day and age with technology being as ubiquitous as it is? Well, one way that we do it through Functionally Fluent is we set up exercises where we're telling you, listen, go talk to your neighbor who speaks Spanish. Go actually implement this. Before moving on to the next chapter, take what you've learned in this book and then go and actually practice it with somebody. And because our program creates so many situations that mirror real life, because it's functions based, right? So we want you to perform functions and complete tasks in real life. We want you to be able to order a sandwich at Subway, right? We want you to be able to ask for the bathroom. We want you to be able to introduce yourself to somebody. Well, those are the types of functions that if you're living in the United States in a city that has a lot of Spanish speakers in it, there's no reason that you shouldn't be practicing these activities with actual real life people, okay? Now, there's another thing that you could do, which is obviously to take an in-person class. If you take an in-person class, then your teacher is going to help you to actually be in a simulated real life. That sounded kind of funny, but you know what I mean. In a real life environment where there's enough simulations, enough dialogues that reflect your everyday interactions in real life, where you're actually going to be speaking and doing those things in the classroom. And let's use technology for us and not against us. There's Skype. There's plenty of really great and really inexpensive teachers that are willing to have, in person, or at least, on screen, real-time dialogues with you. So these are the types of things that, unfortunately, programs that are out there, software, apps, things like that, you're just really not going to get the true speaking practice using those. Now, do those have a place in the foreign language instruction ecosystem? Absolutely they do. But that is not what we would recommend as your core way of practicing a language. If you want to speak, you really need to be interacting and speaking in that language. And if you want to practice vocabulary, if you want to brush up on your grammar, by all means, grab a book, open an app, open up your online software. But if you want to speak, we really want to make sure that you are actually speaking.